Rates are too high, the American public shall not buy. At least that's what they've been saying for the last 3 months since we had rates increase. Now, I want to give you a couple scenarios that might put you at ease if you're thinking about moving anywhere, most especially Houston. Rates. Let's rewind to a time, because I've been here since back in the day, almost 20 years. I want to compare an unusual scenario to what you might, it seems like a very unusual correlation, but stick with me here. The rates, we all got shocked at once, right? It reminds me of 9/11, way different deal. But stick with me, like I said. On 9/11, the entire country saw the plane hits. I remember where I was, I'm sure you do. Super tragic, terrible. The correlation is that everybody in America saw that at the exact same time. It was extremely traumatizing. It was traumatizing. I was here. Rates back in June went from what we've been expecting, the norm, to all of us saw at the exact same time, rates double.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Over the last couple months. So the American public, just as in that time, freaked out and everybody stopped buying properties, wondering what in the world we're doing. But I also want to rewind back to the subprime time, the Big Short. I lived it, I was on the tail end. It was the heyday. It was the 1920s of real estate. The heyday. If you were alive, you could buy and qualify for a house, essentially. We saw what happened after that, and here we are today. But my point is, I bought my first house in that subprime era. I was early 20s. I think I had an 80-20, a 7 on the first, a 9 on the second, give or take, somewhere around there. Everybody was buying, everybody was paying that rate, 7, 7.5, what have you. Of course, after that, we had the subprime meltdown, you may remember. And then we had the Wall Street reform period, the Bush tax credits, so on and so forth through the COVID. We've been living the dream, essentially, for the last decade. But at that time, nobody was complaining about a 6 or 7% interest rate because that was the norm, right? Rates could creep up, creep down. Nobody really knew because we didn't have that boom shock period like we had in recent months. Now, fast forward to today. We do have the shock period. What do we do? Well, I want to give you the 3 scenarios of why you shouldn't freak out. A, you buy a house. Congrats, you don't have to compete with 20 people like you were in the last 2 years. But you buy a house now at a 6.75, a 7, a 6.5, 7.5, who knows what they're going to be in the coming week. And in 6 months, rates are still the same. At that point, you don't feel foolish. You feel like, wow, we secured a house, we love it, we're living, and we got an okay market rate, right?
Wow.
Scenario 2, this is the scary one. Rates go up from here, 8, 8.5, 9. Then everybody's really freaking out. But you were smart because you bought now at 6.75, and you feel like a champ because rates are now 8, 8.5. Who knows? I'm not an economist or a psychic. I wish I did know, but I don't. Rates are up at 8.5. You feel great because you locked in at 6.75. The third scenario is, Steve, we're gonna wait. We don't want to do it. We're gonna wait. Well, no, we are gonna do it. We buy our house, we lock in our rate, we don't have to compete with 20 people. We get the house of our dreams at a 6.75 rate. I keep using that because that's what it is today, essentially. And in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, guess what? Rates are now 5, 5.5, 5.75, 4.75. Lord, 3? That'd be a dream. I don't see that, but let's see at the moment. They go down 1.5, 2 points, you refinance. Rates are temporal, your house is forever. Well, unless you want to move again. So take advantage of the slower market while it's still here. Get that house without competing with everybody and their brother and their aunt. And give me a shout. We got you covered if you are moving to Houston. Talk soon.